Richison.
Hey YouTube, DogRigician84 here, and this is sort of a follow-up to my top 10 video on the times that I've been robbed of victory. Now, rather typically after doing this and uploading it, there was another time I was robbed of victory which I completely forgot about, and it was one where, again, it was one of those cases where end of match procedure screwed me, which brings me to the point of this top 10 video, the top 10 times that end of match procedure screwed me. Now, I've already mentioned a few times how I absolutely hate end of match procedure, whether it's the 4-turn rule, 5-turn rule, or deciding a winner at the end of a turn phase. I mean, it's just absolute bullshit. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by background noise. Because I almost never win through it. I mean, yeah, there have been times where I have either won or it ended in a draw, but it just feels like most of the time I just fucking lose through it. Yeah, I just think it's a bullshit way to decide a winner. Plus, the match doesn't even finish properly, and I hate leaving things unfinished, and I prefer to see matches through to the end to really decide who the true winner should have been. Otherwise, it's like, well, yeah, it's like, you won the match, but you didn't beat me, or I didn't beat you. If that makes sense. There's just no real winner or loser. Now, alright, yes, I know end of match procedure is needed, to hurry matches up and move the tournament along, but it's still bullshit, and I just wish it wasn't a thing, and is one of the reasons why I won't play in tournaments anymore. Just because of how bullshit it is. Anyway, I've been talking for 3 minutes now, so let's just get on with it. Now, a couple of these I did already cover in the other video, the top 10 times I was robbed of victory, but yeah, here we go. So, in at number 10 is in one of the Pendulum Magician matchups where I played Dark Magician, and this time Tempest Magician screwed me. Because I'm pretty sure time had been called at that point, and Weber's 5 synchro summoned Tempest Magician, which was one of his techie side cards at the time for end of match procedure, and the annoying thing is I could have prevented the burn, because I had Circle on the field plus Magician's Navigation, and what I should have done was use Navigation in response to Tempest gaining a counter, but for some reason I used it at the wrong time. I used it in response to the burn effect. Now, or I did it to something else. I don't know why I did that. Maybe the pressure just got to me, or I don't know what happened, but I could have prevented it, because what I should have done was when Tempest's effect to gain a spell counter on Synchro Summon was activated, I could have used Navigation, got Dark Magician and another Dark Spellcaster out, then used Circle to banish the Tempest Magician so that way he couldn't burn me for game. But yeah, I just completely messed up. But it was more annoying that time had been called, as if I had more time, or we'd had more time, then it could have played out differently. But no, like I said, this was more my fault than anything. That's why it's at the bottom of this list. Number 9, and actually this was another one that I did go over in another top 10 video, and more specifically, top 10 bullshit duels. And this was back in the Pharaohs Tour qualifier in 2005, where it went to a third game, and again time had been called, so at that time it was 4-turn rule, and the guy played Swords of Revealing Light, Wave Motion Cannon, and well, that was it really. And I just didn't draw anything that could get rid of either of his spells, so couldn't do much. Turn 2, turn 3, he then fired off the cannon, and then when it came to my turn, there was just nothing I could do to get my life points higher. I mean, again, maybe things would have been different if end of match procedure just wasn't a thing, but yeah, end of match procedure really screwed me here. And yeah, like I said, it was one of the most bullshit duels ever. Using generic burn cards to win in time is such a cheap, dirty, dishonourable and disrespectful way to win a duel, well, particularly on end of match procedure. But yeah, that's number 8, and this is another one involving Endymion, and this was during the tournament where I was playing my Yugi gadgets, and I think Weber's 5 with Endymion was my round 2 opponent at the time, and he beat me game 1, and game 2 I was doing quite well, even though I did make the mistake of going into Gigagang X when I should have gone for either Honorarch or Castel, because the only monster he had was Selene, but because he had an Endymion card on the field as well, more specifically in the Pendulum Zone, I couldn't attack it. So I feel like that was something that did end up costing me later, but I was still able to do big damage, and time was running out, so I did try to at least end the match in a draw, because I did big damage with Utopia the Lightning, and he did get out access code Talker, and it popped my Waking the Dragon, which allowed me to go into Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon. But it didn't really do much, because the 53 access code Talker still attacked Utopia the Lightning, which only had 1 material, and that got his life points higher than mine during the last few seconds. Yeah, that was... I mean, it was an impressive turnaround, but at the same time, it was just absolute bullshit. I mean, because it's like either if time ran out before the battle phase, or I had a bit more time, I could have done something on my next turn to get my life points higher. That wasn't the case, unfortunately. Number 7, and this is one of the ones that I already talked about in the last top 10 video. The match where I used Dark Magic Sworn against Malefics. I'll try and summarise it. I think because Game 2 took so long, it was what caused it to go to end of match procedure, but it was just basically a case of trying to stall until I could see some back row removal to get rid of Skill Drain, because Skill Drain was just screwing me, and I was stuck behind Malefic Cyber End Dragon and Mound of the Bound Creator, and I kept taking a grand because of Mound, and there wasn't much I could do, and by the time Game 2 finished, Game 3 started, and again time was called, and then I did something, he got up Malefic Cyber End again and did some big damage, but he didn't have Mound at the time. I don't remember what field spell he had. And the best thing I could do was, on my second turn, was going to Starliege Paladynamo and drop Malefic Cyber End to 0 and do 2k damage. That was it. It was just... it was still bullshit, because again, if I had more time, I could have turned things around. It was one of those matchups which I shouldn't have lost, because Light Sworn decks of any kind should easily be able to beat Malefics. Like I said, it was like, how the hell do I lose to Malefics with Light Sworns? But again, there's nothing I can really say about it that I hadn't said already. Number 6, Royal Decree, screwing me in sudden death. Now, this dates back to a local tournament from Easter Day 2006. Yeah, a really old one this time. It was one of the most ridiculous matches ever, because we were just blocking each other's attacks and stalling each other out. And in fact, I ended up winning Game 1 by deck out. And then he beat me Game 2 after a while, and then during Game 3, time had been called, and we weren't able to do damage to each other during those 4 turns, so it went to sudden death, and this was the last game that everyone was waiting on. It was annoying, because we kept stopping each other's attacks with Waboku and Sakuratsu Armor and Mirror Force, and we just couldn't get to each other's life points. It was so annoying. I can't even remember what he was playing, but it was something with the Apprentice Magician engine. And then eventually, I think he had no monsters, and I tried to use Apprentice Magician to go for game, and he activated Wobbucree, and I had a few traps set down, and then he activated Royal Decree, which horrified me, and then he summoned Old Vindictive, and just attacked, did 50 damage, his life points were higher, and yeah, I lost that way. Again, absolute bullshit. So yeah, it was a mixture of, well, not even the, well, yeah, that was end of match procedure, I was about to say, but yeah, it was just sudden death and Royal Decree that fucked me. Like, I'm sorry, but this guy got so lucky. Like, Royal Decree was the only reason he won. And yeah, I know I sound like that guy who goes, I would have won if, but yeah, I admit it. I am that Yu-Gi-Oh! Stereotype. But yeah, it's true though. But yeah, that's all there is to say about that one. Number 5, another one that I talked about in the previous top 10, me with Prismagician against Matt V with Red Ice Black Dragon. I'll try and summarise it. So I won game 1, and game 2 I would have won if it wasn't for Lightning Vortex, because it was on, well, it was a good even back and forth game, I think, and we were both on pretty low life points, and he was on low life points. I had Dark Magician and Prisma at least on the field, as far as I could remember, and ended my turns, and I knew I could potentially, well, could win game 2, and then he activates Lightning Vortex, clears my board, gets out a big monster or two, probably Red Ice Black Dragon, and then he just attacked the game. And again, by that point, time had been called, so again it went to the 4-turn rule, yeah. So yeah, I didn't draw any Monster Revival cards, I know that, but I did go Prisma, Effect Reveal, Mill, and End. He then summoned Luster Dragon, attacked and destroyed Prisma, set a back row, ended his turn. Then on my turn I got out another Prisma, and revealed Dark Magician, real Dark Paladin, sent Dark Magician. I'm pretty sure I had Thousand Knives and Dark Magic Attack. Yeah, I don't remember, but I did play the Dark Magic Attack, or some form of back row removal, and he chained Scapegoats. Fucking Scapegoats. Wait, no, I did have Thousand Knives in hand, because, yeah, because if Scapegoat wasn't there, then I could have cleared the Luster Dragon, attacked, had my life points higher, and I potentially could have won, depending on what he would have done on the next turn, but naturally, since I couldn't get my life points higher, I had to scoop. Yeah, it was one of those bullshit duels where I was robbed of victory. Well, even matches that I could have won. But no, Lightning Vortex and Scapegoat just screwed me. But it was more so end of match procedure. Number 4, and this was the other time where I was robbed of victory that I completely forgot about, and ironically it was during the same tournament where the whole thing with Dark Magician and Red Ice Black Dragon happened that I just talked about. DD Crow screwing me. And this was in the round that happened before the Red Eyes game. So yeah, it was round one of, again, I think it was either a city tournament or a Fortune Tour qualifier, I can't remember, but the guy was playing Little City. It was either Big City or Little City, probably Little City, because I specifically remember Neos Alias being in that deck. So it did go to a third game again, and by that point, time had been called. So again, it went to end of match procedure, yeah, I think I went first. I went Prisma, did my usual stuff, past turn, and he got out Neos Alias, and then attacked over Prisma and destroyed him. Then on my turn I got out another Prisma, revealed Dark Paladin, sent Dark Magician. Now, I didn't have Thousand Knives in hand or any monster destruction, but what I did have was either Monster Reborn or Swing of Memories. Can't remember which one it was. But yeah, I went to use that Monster Reviver card to bring Dark Magician back, and my opponent drops DD Crow. Fucking DD Crow! And Dark Magician got banished, and I had no way to get rid of the Neos Alias and get my life points higher, so I had to scoop. Well, I would like to say it was more end-of-match procedure that screwed me. It was mainly because of fucking Crow. If he didn't have it, I could have potentially won. Yeah, I really, really hate DD Crow. It's such an annoying cheap shot banish card, and one of the few hand traps that I hate with a passion and just wish didn't exist. And I have just absolutely hated DD Crow ever since. Yeah, that stupid cheap shot banish card just basically robbed me of victory. And the other annoying part is I never had a chance to duel that guy again and get my revenge on him, because, yeah, no one banishes my favourite card and gets away with it, as you know. But now I'll never get the chance. But I'd like to think karma is a thing, so I'm pretty sure within the last, 16, 17 years or so, he would have had a match where he just outright bricked or had his plays countered badly. It's bound to have happened at some point. But yeah, I'd like to think karma is a thing. Of course, I'll never know for sure, but yeah, it was definitely one of the most bullshit duels ever. What's ridiculous is that this bullshittery happened twice in a row, in the first 2 rounds of that tournament. So yeah, I think by that point my chances of qualifying for an even bigger event were reduced a lot. Anyway, number 3, my first ever encounter with Labyrinth. This dates back to one of the first local tournaments at Tabletop Republic that I'd ever had, and this was during one of my temporary returns to tournaments, and I was using Elemental Heroes, and I faced one of their best players, Joe, playing Labyrinth. Now, this match did take a while, so he did win game 1, and game 2 took a while. In fact, game 2 actually went to end of match procedure, and I was slowly but surely making a comeback. My life points were quite low, but I was able to bring out Shining Neos Wingman and Escorido, 2 big powerhouses, and I was able to do some significant damage with Shining Neos Wingman by attacking one of his Labyrinth monsters. So he took a hit, but his life points were still just higher. But if I could get a successful direct attack through with Escorido, which I think was on 3100, then I think I would have either gained him or got my life points higher. Now, again, keeping in mind that at this point time had been called, and luckily it was during my battle phase, but unfortunately he activated one of his traps that special summoned a Labyrinth. I don't remember if it was Welcome Labyrinth or Big Welcome Labyrinth. It was one of the two. I can never remember which one's which, but either way, he used one of those, got out a Labyrinth monster in defence, and that just royally screwed me. And I couldn't get my life points higher. So yeah, that stupid lab trap just screwed me and denied me a draw. I don't remember if I had any cards in hand, but maybe if I had Super Poly in hand as well, then that could have changed everything, and I could have made the Shining. Now, I was going to say maybe Wake Up Your Elemental Hero, but I don't think it was out. Well, it might have been out, but I don't remember if I had it yet. But yeah, that was just so annoying. That stupid trap just denied me a draw. It wouldn't have been a win, but I'd have much rather got a draw than a loss. But it wasn't the case. Number 2, and this was another one that I already went over, the time where Weber's 5 topped Archer against me and burnt me, got my life points lower than his. This is one of those times where I was robbed of victory, because again, I was on 2200, he was on 2100, and I had a pretty good board. Again, this was the 3rd skeleton character tournament, and I was using my Yugi character deck. He was playing a Yuma deck that ran Cyber Dragon's Nogrid Infinity plus Ptolemaeus, and then he just top decks Archer to Archer and just screws me out of a win. It was just such a bullshit way for a game to end. Again, don't get me wrong, it was a good, fun, even game. The fact that it ended that way was just absolute bullshit, like I said. I could have and should have won that. But I didn't even think about Archer to Archer. And again, if he drew literally anything else, I could have won. But no, sadly not. But again, there's nothing I can say that I haven't said already. And finally, in at number 1 was a top 8 match where I used Dark Magician Hero against Karakuris, and this was actually from a locals that happened 13 years ago, and it was just before I went away for my 4th Margate trip, and I remember facing G with Karakuris, and I remember I did win game 1, but only just, because I was on 100, he had the Churia Beast, and I topped Dark Magician, which normally wouldn't be great, but I had Destiny Dasher in my graveyard, and I used his effect to special summon Dark Magician and attack over the Churia Beast for game. And then he did win game 2, and then again by the time game 3 came around, time had been called, and there was a bit of confusion regarding how many turns we had, because by that point the 5-turn rule was introduced, and if I remember correctly, 5-turn rule happens when, if a duel is in progress, and then if it does go to another game, it's 4-turn rule. But I think what happened was, game 3 had started, and then by the time it started, time had been called, so it would have been 5-turn rule, but we thought we only had 4 turns. Now I don't remember everything that happened, but I do remember that G's life points were higher, and I didn't have a way to get mine higher. So yeah, basically I was screwed, and yeah, it seemed to be one of those cases where end of match procedure just screwed me again. However, I remember Spiky Paul pointing out sometime afterwards that that we would have had an extra turn, because again we would have had 5 turns. So I still potentially could have done something to turn things around and actually get my life points higher, and I would have made top 4. But no. I was just outright denied a top 4 spot just like that, due to both end of match procedure and just the confusion regarding how many turns I would have had. So I guess there was some sort of miscommunication. So annoying. It would have been nice to finally make the top 4 with Dark Magician Hero, because at that point I'd never been that far in the locals with that deck before. It's alright though, because the fact that I made top 2 in the locals like over a year later made up for it. That didn't quite win the event, but then of course winning that mini tournament with my decks, with help from Neo Nexus Scapegoat User and Avril, just made up for everything. So, and yeah, that's going to do it, guys. That is my top 10 list of times the end of match procedure screwed me. Now, tell me, have there been any times where end of match procedure screwed you big time in a tournament? Let me know in the comments down below. And on that note, I will see you guys later. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Dark Magician